Hello, everybody. Now, welcome back to another Rain Rambles. And this beautiful Five Nights at Freddy's background is thanks to one that I found on ArtStation, which is from an Andrew Vance. Now, I am using this, of course, because today we are talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. So, if you're just out of the know, or maybe someone's showing this to you on their phone for whatever reason, because you haven't been in the space for a while and you just kind of you need to catch up to get into it for how long it's been going. If you were just out of that, basically, Five Nights at Freddy's started a sit and survive evolution after a certain review got the creator, Scott Cawthon, to create a game due to the fact his previous creation, Chipper and Sons Lumber Co., were said to look like creepy old mascots like from Chuck E. Cheese. To which, in a butterfly effect that creator could not predict from their review, was just the direction Scott needed for success. So, the beginning, the first FNAF. As I mentioned previously in the last slide, the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, upon release of originally released on August 8th, 2014 on Desura, then the 18th for Steam, was a simple yet effective game, having only 4 primary characters that would slowly get introduced. Bonnie being the first to walk the left side, Chica the right side, Foxy having to be watched so he doesn't sprint to you for ye booty, also on the left, and Freddy, who looms in the darkness, also on the right. Technically there's a 5th with Golden Freddy, but the main 4 were the center stage for this game, and very fun to play with. I remember Five Nights at Freddy's 1 was the only one I tried out, like, when the first mobile port came out. It's the only one I've gotten really to fully play. But, yeah. Really, really fun to... I've done more watching than playing. I really need to play them all. But I've been here so long, jokes to be made about songs anyhow, that I know a lot about it. The swift sequel. After the grand reception for the first game, the second game would come out on the earliest of November 10th of the same year. Keeping in mind, 2014. This one adding in more mechanics, a Freddy mask, and no doors anymore. The last one had doors you could close on the animatronics. You were out in the open with this one. The mask was your only defense and a flashlight. The Wither also introducing us to the Withered and Toys design scheme in this game. And the puppet, someone who became a staple to series lore. This would also be the first game with minigames, specifically a chance after dying to get one, if I am remembering that right. I believe that's how it was done back then, was that you died and then it popped up. I think there were other minigames, it was just that's how you mainly got them, was death. Which, to be fair, if you're not the best, that means you had something to do if you were dying a lot. And then, of course, another entry, another time, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. After still getting a great reception overall and now starting to ramp up the potential theory crafting, we stumble into the third entry. Releasing in March of 2015, this entry brought us to the Fazbear Frights location, which was a horror attraction to all the scary stories of the Fazbear brand. Essentially, far in the future after the other two had previously closed. There's technically only one animatronic that can kill you here. Springtrap, the bunny with entrails around his endo. Skeleton, but the others act as distractions to get him to the office. You also have to manage the vents to cut off routes and use Balloon Boy's own voice. That's the red and blue character there. Yeah, you have to use his voice, and as you can tell, his phantom doesn't like that. It also had a good and bad ending, determined by playing minigames and getting them in weird ways. For example, you had to basically dial in a number on a random thing. I think it was a random collection of panels. As Matt Pat once put it, let me just dial in my phone number. But yeah, as well, each night had its own minigame, like prior. I think it was either prior or after. I believe it was after because showing how the killer of the series ended up in his own old suit. Yeah, fun stuff. Enjoy. A nightmare emerges. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 returns to its root of sitting mostly in one spot and originally came out on July 23rd, 2015. This one had you playing in a small child's bedroom as a child, looking at nightmarish versions of the animatronics. Even their endos are nightmarish, as seen as in the poster here. Little Freddles had to be kept off the bed behind you, which, if you didn't, well, you'd get Freddy there, the brown one. Bonnie and Chica, the blue and yellow, primarily, took up the left and right halls again, and you had to do your best to keep Foxy out. Otherwise, your closet became his cove you had to check personally. This one also had minigames after each night, detailing the events that led up to and or created these nightmares. Ending with the little kid getting bit in the front lobe by Fredbear. The Nightmare's unnightmared version. It's probably why him and Nightmare have the sharpest teeth, now that I think about it. That explains a lot. A slight change in designers. Five Nights at Freddy's. Sister location. Sister location. Coming out on October 7th in 2016. A departure from the sitting and surviving slightly, as you actually moved around to repair the facility of Circus Baby's Pizza World. Or it was just Circus Baby's World. I forget which one sometimes. Dealing with Freddy and Bonbon in a breaker room, meaning you had to manually repair something while dealing with having the Freddy of this place and using the Bonbon's voice lines to ensure you didn't get too far, or too close in this case. Spinning Ballora with her spinning and dancing you have to be careful about. She was the in-between area before the breaker room, so going in and out could be a bit interesting at times. The Biddy Babs, who mainly functioned in one section of you being under a place, basically trying to get you themselves. Destroy you. circus baby guiding you to your own demise. Unless you go off script. Then you meet the robotic amalgamation of Ennard, all the way on the left there. Yeah. The naming convention is very understandable why. Fun Time sparked many ideas for myself. I thought of Springlock Fun Times, an evolution of the Springlock suit that had been shown in the series before, but for more safer and marketable. Nothing like that would be done in this series. The ending chapter of the original series, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, released upon us December 4th, 2017. The wild, making us have to manage a Freddy Fazbear location of all things. Very interesting experience to watch, at least. Scraps to pull in for payment on our own time, and also do our own shift while dealing with our own problems that we gained from this madness. The ending that we got from it was a beautiful speech. Beautifully delivered as well, if I do say so myself. And the epilogue of the original series, Ultimate Custom Night. Released on June 27th, 2018, this grand challenge appeared like a monster coming from the shadows, a beckoning challenge to see what the devil had waiting for a certain character of this franchise. Seeing Darker beat the ultimate challenge was so goddamn insane to see in person that it will forever be cemented in the fandom's history. Seeing all these characters and more summoned in. So much insanity, so much happened. A strange little delivery. Five Nights at Freddy's AR. A strange game. Fully released on November 25th, 2019, though beta was 3 days earlier. Making me realize this weird idea of a game came out on my birthday, of all things. It was stuck on newer phones with the ability to handle AR capabilities, augmented reality, and sadly this one even shut down on March 14th, 2024 of this year. Meaning if you wanted to experience it again, emulation would be your friend here. Sadly, the servers are offline. So sad. A very interesting idea. Was it the most fun? No. But it was still a game to be recognized. Wait, hold on there. Whoa. Ah, that's what's happening. There we go. Now, before AR there was FNAF Help Wanted. Released on May 28th, 2019. Had players for the first time with Freddy's main games jumping into the world a bit more closely than anyone had been used to. It also ended up being the game to introduce to a little creature to scare us and take us over. The Scream Glitch Bunny that ain't funny. Glitch Trap. Or as he's known in-house, Malhair. Which, honestly, at times I do prefer Malhair. Of course, we already went over this accidentally. Yes. A rough step into the new era. FNAF security breach. This poor game deserved so much more time in the oven. This thing has so many bugs crawling around in it, and if you had a PC that just barely managed to work the game, the bugs occurred seemingly more frequently, as if to spite you for dare gracing yourself in its presence. Like a sick mess of code spaghetti that wouldn't make even Team Fortress 2 blush. Even in a recent info, it seemed like Scott forgot to tell his direction somewhat of what he wanted, and by the time release time was coming up, it was already too late. With knowledge of the ruined Springtrap meaning to be more of a golden Freddy type figure, which explains the laugh files that we found for him. A vision we will never get to see, sadly. But the small redemption, FNAF Ruin definitely helped out when it came to fleshing out more of the ideas and goodness that an even more walkable and open game of Five Nights at Freddy's could have. This DLC is the only one I planned on including, as it was able to carry and do better the ideas of security breach, and released for PC and PlayStation 4 and 5 on July 25th, 2023, and others later, gave a bit of hope back for the franchise itself. Also, it introduced a cool little mimic. And I do indeed also enjoy the mimic as a concept of something disguising itself. Disguising, thinking, training itself on all the stuff. And here we go. Engineering away the problems, Help Wanted 2. December 14th, 2023 brought us back to the Help Wanted format from Steelwool, which gave us quite the fun experiences with the glam and many other interesting dude coming after Ruin, allowing the game to give an interesting feeling and ability to have some mechanics from Ruin itself. Whew. A lovely thing, really, as it worked out awesomely. It was a fun thing to watch. Even D-Road Glitch Trap / Malhair made a comeback, though I wasn't expecting it in the way it did. Very fun to watch. The coming official games, part 1, Into the Pit. FNAF Into the Pit will be releasing this year, 2024, as of the writing of this, in 2 days, August 8th. At least it was supposed to. Then it came out yesterday, as when this video is releasing, because of course it did. Gotta love Scott for that. Oh, whoops, we released something early. Its style will be that of pixel art, and will be a lovely inclusion to the many games that we do have going, and I'm very interested to see how this all goes with the gaming. It excites me. It excites me for potential pixel games that take a different direction from the Atari we have gotten from the old games, and the difference from the current mainline games for pixel games. The coming official games, Part 2, 5 Laps at Freddy's. This game coming out in 2025, currently unknown when the demo is coming very soon on August 7th, today, as of recording this. And seems interesting. Fun to see what Fazbear Entertainment is doing to make games to make people forget what happened, and trying to make everything as marketable and silly as possible. And a car race does seem like something they're up their alley as a company with everything else. And as I did watch people play it today, I do hope you people that do enjoy Five Nights at Freddy's, please tell Click Team and Scott nicely keep it in the oven for a lot longer. Like, make sure this is like December 2025, delay if needed. Because this needs it needs more time in the oven from what the demo has shown us. Just saying. The potential is there, but it needs more time in the oven. I am actually kind of glad we got a demo this early. Yeah. Now, the next coming official games is The Secret of the Mimic. Another soon coming release of Unknown 2025. We get to learn even more about that Mimic character from the Ruin DLC. Learning more about him will be very fun. And if what we saw in the trailer is true, we're going to see 1979 in the current series timeline. Very interested to see how this is going to go overall. The Dead by Daylight and FNAF collab. It's a miracle this has happened, but I am so damn thankful for it has happened. Finally, the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise will be with the other horror icons of past, present, and future. It'll be so awesome to see when it comes next summer what killer, survival map, and cosmetics we may get. I am very excited for this. Now, to get a more serious topic. Sky and the fan base made a game of robotic animatronics and managed to get a fan base of so many goddamn fellow queer people. It's honestly kind of funny when you think about it. The FNAF fandom is full of creatives, modelers, people who got interested in game dev, all because they liked the funny horror game made from the ashes of these look more like scary robots, and running with it and turning into the finest of pure perfumes. Despite his political shit getting leaked, a lot of us in the fan base have seen him doing it over and over again to us and to many other good causes over and over again. And actions do speak loudly. Slowly to say I think he's doing a pretty good job. I am still worried as a trans guy living in America. I do not doubt that one bit. But I think Scott is also growing with us as a fandom. And we need to realize that no one could have expected the butterfly effect the first game could have caused. And to go a bit in more depth of it, I know we've seen and heard of this man. He goddamn cares a lot about what the fan base thinks, of what the fans think of the games. He still gives a shit. Because this is his baby. This is his child of a game series. This is the one that made it possible to do something he loved instead of just being stuck at a dollar store working the 9 to 5. He got the chance, and he's doing all that he can and learning as he goes. He's the most online person. He doesn't see the latest news. He doesn't seem to see most things. When it comes to being online, he only comes online every once in a while. And I think we gotta keep that in mind. Dude is more of is like that one unknowing family member. They don't know. They're just hoping and rolling for the dice. And yes, we also do need to keep in mind how much power he has because he has this position of power so suddenly. But I think he's done a really good job. I think he's got this. And I believe in him that he is full of care, that he cares about his fans, that he's honestly made games for and watched us grow up. I'm still saddened every day I remember that leaking, watching how the fan base turned upside down because so many people, including myself, were part of the LGBTQIA community. So many of us, so many people on Twitter remember that. And as it spread and the news spread, dude had to make basically similar to Matt, retiring thing. He's still the one making sure nowadays that the games are being treated right, the games are doing well. But I think like Matt Pat, he's just more so overseeing it, ensuring that like the games are treated well in these crossovers and these connections that we see. And I do hope he realizes that there's a lot of people that look up to him because of these games that he has made. And thus, we reach the end. Crazy to think how fast 10 years goes by. I mean, when this came out, I wasn't too old. I was very young. Now I've graduated high school and I'm trying to make videos, trying to ramble on and hope people hear my thoughts. It's crazy to think about that it's been 10 years for this series. When this video releases, it'll be officially 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's. 10 whole damn years. Think about that. 10 years. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I do hope you all enjoyed this video, even if I got a little serious there near the end. I hope you all know that I do hope you have a good day, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. Rain out. Now, have a good one.